welcome back to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes here on CW11, the final segment. Kyler Rope, Caleb Hart in the booth with you guys as we are turning the knob to the open wheels.
Let's go to my specialty. It's the open wheel cars, and first and foremost, the Northwest Focus Midget Series in the house for another one of their Pavement Challenge Series races. Very cool deal for these drivers and teams. They're excited to be at Evergreen Speedway and competing in what is the tribute to Rebel Jackson Sr., the Rebel Jackson Sr. tribute race for the series.
Yeah, and it's very cool. This class, they run both asphalt and dirt on a regular basis, and a lot of races on each, which is really unique.
They came off a 9-race June. That was a lot of events for them, and so the drivers have had a hard go of it in the very, very hot weather. It'll be fun to see how they get after it. You've got Rebel Jackson Jr. on the front row of this one, trying to win what would be his third tribute race. He's won a Rebel Senior tribute and a sprint car and a super modified. So Rebel Jr. on the pole, Nick Larson right next to him. Second row, Jake Austin and Mike Stryker. Third row, Randy Schaff and John Fugit. Fourth row, Levi Harless and Ray Stebbins. Fifth row, Brian Hayes and Scott Kramer. Dwayne Swanson all by himself in 11th. And very cool, Rebel Jr., Stebbins, and I believe Stryker all raced with Rebel Senior at one point in time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and sadly, the sixth of Dwayne Swanson pulled off early, was finding issues with that car all day, so he's actually not going to make the start. We saw him push out, but now he pulled off. So tough break there for Swanson. So we saw him as a staple of the podium a few years ago when it came to the Legend Division here at Evergreen Speedway, so he definitely knows how to get around, so heartbreak early for Dwayne Swanson.
It's a dynamite front row with Rebel Jr. and Nick Larson. Those two have been the guys to beat on the pavement over the last couple of seasons. Larson actually coming off a open midget win over at State Line with WMRA the weekend before. So Larson's got momentum coming in. Rebel Jr. again. History on his side for this 25-lap A feature. We're green off the corner.
Yeah, we're going to dive right into the highlights. Very action-packed early few laps here for the Northwest Focus Midgets, as you can throw a blanket under the top threes. That is a little too close for comfort right there with Mike Stryker in the 8. Almost a wheel hop in Nick Larson.
True story. I used to own the 8 car that Mike Stryker is running right now. Owned and raced it. Mike was having some problems with getting the car to corner in the center. He's made an adjustment this weekend, and if it's successful, I'll tell you exactly what he did. But early, it's Rebel Jr. out to the lead.
Yeah, Jake Austin taking over that third spot as he has been very tough on the asphalt as well. Very strong competitor in that green and white car, sitting in third, keeping pace with Nick Larson for now. Who Nick Larson we saw win over a notable absence this week, Alex Peck, who unfortunately was not able to get a ride in time after a long 3-day weekend on dirt this past weekend. So 10 cars out here is are early putting a car a lap down. That's going to get dicey right in front of your leaders. Hey, let's go 4 wide. Why not?
Oh, why not? Yeah, they're splitting Scott Kramer, something serious. Austin Ming manages to hold on to third. It's Schaff in the 4th spot, I believe. As let's go in front a little ways, jump forward in the race. Here comes Nick Larson.
Yeah, this was Nick's bold move of the race. A huge slide job on Rebel Jackson Jr., but just the nice, calm, cool, collective driver underneath 12 cars going to take that lead back. So, all in all, about 300 laps of leading for Nick Larson.
Yeah, well, you know, it was the best 300 feet of his night. That happens. Jackson Sr. has got it. Let's get a look at the in-car here from Nick Larson.
Doing everything he could, coming up on 2 laps to go, and just not quite enough. White flag's actually in the air now, but you can tell he was right there the entire race. This was the view that Nick Larson had all 25 laps, but just never could get that last little bit.
Yep, so it is Rebel Jackson Jr. who has now won in a sprint car modified and a midget in tribute races to Rebel Jackson Sr. Congratulations to him. Larson 2 and Mike Stryker 3, who having a working air pressure gauge helps out a ton on race car handling.
Oh, imagine that. Imagine that.
It's amazing. Mike came and got that all fixed up and now can actually get the car through the center of the corner, so look for him to be faster and faster as the weeks go on.
Yeah, we'll see them again Rory Price Memorial Weekend, so circle that on your calendar. A big open wheel day here at Evergreen Speedway, and Northwest Focus Midgets, they put on a great show every time they come. May not have the biggest car counts, but some great racing.
Great division, great bunch of guys as well. Now let's move to the Thunder and Lightning divisions. The fastest car you're going to see here at Evergreen Speedway all year. It's time for the Granite Super Sprint Car Series and their 30-lap A main event.
This final segment is brought to you by T-Mobile, and T-Mobile is a proud sponsor of Evergreen Speedway. Thank you to our friends at T-Mobile for keeping us connected. As we see the cars out there there, getting the motors hot and ready. Still not under green flag action, just getting a little bit of warm-up done. These motors are obviously very expensive and need to get the proper treatment before they can go flat out.
Yeah, not just engines, but tires too. You do want to get a little heat cycle started in the tires as going out and trying to get these bad boys and all the horsepower that they have, all the downforce that they've got in on cold tires is a big problem. As look out, car around. That's Chase Getz' 91, who spins around in the back straightaway into a stop.
Yeah, we talked about tires being a problem, and that's could be an early indication of maybe something going wrong with the 91, as that's not something you like to see when you come out to warm up your car before a race starts.
Wow. So Getz in and around the First Line Systems Inc. sponsored number 91 car, originally out of Snohomish for Chase, and you can see push vehicles getting to them. These cars don't have starters in them. They do have to be push started, compression started if you're used to, having a clutch or something like that. Is there a direct drive in and out? You're either in gear or you're out of it.
So they're going to get him hopefully fired back up. Hopefully we'll be able to keep on the end of the field. But meanwhile, let's get to know the rest of the starting lineup. Starting on the front row, that is the 4 of Greg Middendorf. And his outside, the brother to who we just saw spin out, the 95 of Reese Getz, sponsored by Great Western Transport.
Row number 2, the First Line Systems Inc. number 8 of Jake Mann. And starting 4th out of Tampa, Florida, the First Line Systems Inc. number 41D is Troy DeCare.
Last season's champion, the 70, Randy Dubois on the inside of row number 3, sponsored by Geico. To his outside, the 41, Thomas Richardson, sponsored by Woodinville Import Auto Repair.
In the 7th starting position, the 12 of Cameron Neisinger, Granite Construction, his sponsor. Next to him, the 44 of Todd Coleman, sponsored by Fleet Service.
Row number 5, the 69, Chloe Hudson, sponsored by Happy Valley Trucking. To her outside, the 9, Jay Dishnew, sponsored by First Line Systems Inc.
Chase Getz scheduled to go off 11th in the 91 car, First Line Systems Inc. sponsored car, but I don't see him out there as the field forms up and get ringing, or do I? Let's see, 2, 4, 6. Oh, nope, there he is tagging around the back.
So hopefully whatever issues he was just dealing with spinning out there is not going to carry over. As it looks like they're getting ready to get the 1 to go from head flagger John Peterson. As that is not usually how you want your start to go.
So we've seen DeCare win 2 of these features already here on the season, and the way that those races have gone is that there's been a leader who's gotten out and rabbited, and then in the late stages, a late caution has bunched the field, given them a shot, and DeCare has got him. We'll see if that holds this time, as DeCare's not starting nearly as far back in the field on this race.
Yep, he was top qualifier, drew a 4 invert, so he's outside of row number 2. Teammate Jake Mandu is inside, as we also saw Troy DeCare restart in this same position and take it 3 wide in turn number 1. Let's see what he does. Green flag is out for the Granite Construction Super Sprint cars, as Troy DeCare, same fashion, 3 wide.
Up to the top shelf goes DeCare around the outside, but it's Getz, nicknamed the Panda, down to the inside, and from the outside of row number 1, Getz will set the pace, closes the door on DeCare getting into turn number 1.
And Troy DeCare was saying that he's almost like a crew chief on the 95 car with how much help he's been giving the Pandas. They are teammates, so both Michael Newman cars 1 and 2 right now. So we'll see. Maybe Troy DeCare is rubbing off just enough on Reese Getz.
Well, here's the thing. Reese Getz has got the pedigree. His dad, Alan Getz, a terror in the Northwest in the sprint car, in the paved sprint car wars. More than enough wins at tracks all over the Northwest. So his dad knew how to get a car around. Reese has been successful in every open wheel car he's ever driven, so I can only imagine it's a matter of time for him before he really starts piling up wins here in the Granite Super Sprint Car Series.
Yeah, and he's got a very tough task at hand, holding behind Troy DeCare, who's probably one of the hottest sprint car drivers in the nation when it comes to the asphalt, who is sitting in second right now. They've kind of checked out. Greg Middendorf sitting comfortably in third, and then Jake Mann, and then Thomas Richardson sitting there in 5th.
Yep, Randy Dubois and Todd Coleman, the battle. You're looking behind them, the blue with green and white 7 car, and then the white and blue 44. Coleman, one of the few 410 cubic inch entries in the field here, and really using that horsepower to his advantage as he rockets to the inside down the back straightaway. And you can see the difference in straightaway speed between him and Dubois as he takes over 6th.
Yeah, still trying to figure out that motor package to the car as the 44s. He was looking pretty strong, almost was able to hang off Troy DeCare last week as we got a car slowing down. That's the 91 Chase Getz.
And rough night for Getz, unfortunately, in the 91 car as he slows to a stop here in the front straightaway. So Getz to a stop, and that's going to bring our first break in the action with 7 laps in, make it 6 laps in, and 24 to go as the caution flag flies. So that'll bring the field back together. We hadn't seen a whole lot of Reese and Troy out front over those first couple of laps, but that will soak up the rest of the field and give them a shot at a double file restart here in our Granite Super Sprint Car division.
Yeah, I'm sure Reese and Troy were out there kind of just pacing each other, not doing anything too crazy, taking it easy. It's a long race. It's a short race for these guys, but still a long race. 30 laps is still a lot to get through, and you got to keep everything clean and keep the tires underneath you all 30 of those laps.
Absolutely. Now, in the past, we've seen DeCare from the outside starting spot really rocket into turn number 1, and we're actually going to get a change here as Getz is parked on the outside of the front row.
So Reese Getz opting to take the outside. You see Troy going up there trying to take it, but the leader has the choice, take it inside or outside, and Reese taking the outside. So maybe he knows something up there that we don't.
I wonder if he is confident in his ability to get his engine to take off and to beat him to the bottom of turn number 1. And yes, he is. Look at him get the door closed.
Chopped him down.
Front bumper to rear bumper. Love between the two. And here's Jake Mann on the attack. Sparking up a storm at the top of turn number 3. Couldn't make the pass.
So 3 Michael Newman cars all banging, almost wheel to wheel, and a little bit of bumper action. I'm sure Mike was a little nervous sitting in the pits watching all 3 of his cars go nose to tail and battling hard on the restart with still 23 laps remaining.
Well, these drivers know how important starts and restarts are. I mean, you can't just, it's really hard to get side by side with somebody in a sprint car given how turbulent the air is in and behind them. So when you get that free 10 feet of track position, you have to take advantage of it. And Getz and DeCare knew how important that restart was for both of them. They went to war, and Reese came out on top, at least for now.
And Reese holding up a pretty sizable lead. It's not comfortable by any means for a sprint car. As Jake Mann kind of falling off in third. He looks like he might even have some issues. As it looked like maybe the Ford Mittendorf was able to close in a little bit there. So Jake Mann fighting some demons in that car. Up front, still all Reese gets. Troy DeCare trying to hunt the Panda down.
Man, Reese is not even stepping out of line in that car. It is glued to the bottom of the racetrack, back end never coming out from underneath him. Keeping the car underneath him, I guess is the terminology that you're looking for. Downforce on the top wing, nice forward drive. He looks really smooth.
Yeah, doing everything he can to not hang that right rear tire out and burn it up, which we've seen some drivers in the past do. They drive very aggressively, have the car set up that way. It's fast, but it eats up tires and is not a long-run strategy in these sprint cars. As Troy DeCare not letting him check out.
You know, number 2 to that, too, is as smooth as he's getting into the corner. I don't think he's using hardly any brake around this racetrack right now. That keeps his momentum up, doesn't scrub speed, although DeCare rolling in on him a little bit over the last couple of laps.
So far, it's been all Reese gets up front. Troy DeCare trying to hunt him down. Just does not quite have enough yet, or maybe he's just being patient, trying to save his stuff. We've seen Troy make these crazy late race runs, so he knows how to manage a car, so we'll see what that 41D has.
Yep, you're not going to be able to depend on traffic here with a little bit of a shorter division here tonight, and they're strung out single file, so DeCare's going to have to get him in open track condition, and we're halfway through. Troy's got to go.
Here is your third place, Jake Mann, hanging on. He's able to kind of get the tires heated up enough to where you can get the car rotate better. You see Middendorf and Coleman behind him. Jake able to pull away a little bit from them, by no means very comfortably, but still nowhere in sight, as there is the huge lead that the top 2 drivers have.
And here is DeCare right up on the back of Getz, and how Getz handles what I believe is Chloe Hudson right in front of him in the Wedekind-owned car is going to make a big factor here in how the rest of this race plays out. It's Hudson right ahead of Getz. DeCare right there ready to pounce if Reese makes a misstep.
Or worse, the lap car makes a misstep and causes the 95 to lose momentum almost right there. Like you said, the turbulent air just so hard to drive through, especially when you're used to nice, clean air? Clean and green air is what I was trying to say. A little bit of a struggle there, but Troy DeCare almost able to make a move side by side with the lap car, and now it's a lot of green track for Reese Getz.
I mean, you see how much ground they put on Hudson once they've gotten past her and out of that dirty air. That's how drastic the effect is. Now they are cruising from her, as it looked like for a couple of seconds he'd have a hard time passing her, but once they got by, now you can see the speed of your lead too. It's Getz and DeCare 1 and 2.
And if you blinked, 9 laps to go already.
Yeah, these go awfully quick for these 700 to 900 horsepower cars in some of these instances.
And with that much power, they are also pretty light for the amount of engine these cars have.
Yeah.
They are carrying a ton of speed. A huge lead, almost half track for your 2 leaders, as Reese gets unshaken and unbothered from Troy DeCare, almost opening up a little bit of a gap now.
Yeah, you've seen in the past, and I've seen this on the dirt side when I've been able to watch Reese race. Excellent rhythm racer. You give him a long green flag run like we've had right here. He has just hit his marks time and time again. And thankfully, the lap car really didn't force him to alter his line too much. He didn't have to do that. So lather, rinse, repeat for Getz over and over again. We're 6 laps away from seeing a blemish in the Troy DeCare resume this year.
Yeah, we've seen him win both races so far. A few lap cars in front of your leaders. That's Thomas Richardson, the first one that they will catch. And we saw that 41 car in victory lane a few times last year, so it is by no means a slow car. So that kind of shows how great of a clinic that these 2 leaders are putting on the rest of the field. It is all Reese Getz, Troy DeCare, 4 laps remaining. Will the Tampa, Florida driver have anything to say about Reese Getz, who's been so strong all night?
He's got a lot of ground to make up, but he's coming up onto lap traffic at the exact wrong time. This might be sequencing out perfect for DeCare here, as he's got him lined up bingo, bango, boingo right in front of him. There's Richardson going to the inside of Hudson, and Hudson has pulled up a lane, so that's going to help Getz and DeCare getting by him. The question's really going to be, if Getz gets to Richardson, what does DeCare do? They're in on him on 1 and 2.
He can smell him, that's for sure. Troy DeCare putting all the pressure that he can on the back of Reese Getz. Can the Panda hang on for one more lap? White flag is in the air, coming down to it. Down into turn number 1, huge run for Troy DeCare. Let's see what he's able to do down the back straightaway.
He might have to peek to the outside, as I don't think Getz is going to get off the bottom. They come into 3, accelerate off of 4, and Reese Getz gets his first one of the year over Troy DeCare, and then a long ways back before you see, I believe, Jake Mann's 8 car crossing in 3rd.
So a Newman 1-2-3 sweep on the podium, and Reese Getz, that win did not come easy, as he had to leave during practice to go re-weld a mount on his top wing at home, pack everything up, drive away, go home, bring everything back, miss some practice, and was able to capture the win. So definitely a long, hard-earned win for the Panda, Reese Getz.
Yeah, great win for Reese. Capable driver, capable welder, and mechanic on the car as well at points in time. And again, if you want to catch the winners' interviews, we've got them all over our social media pages. Is that correct?
Yep, and they'll be on YouTube as well. So keep an eye out for that if you guys want to go and look at them. Obviously, it's great seeing all the home track heroes here on CW11, and overall, great action-packed 4th of July weekend here at Evergreen Speedway.
We fit in 11 divisions and a stunt for you, as Mr. Dizzy went out and did his thing. And we're so glad that you tuned in and had some entertainment with us on a Sunday night. But we got even more coming up on Home Track Heroes. In fact, the next race that you'll see here on CW11 is the Drivers Reunion Show.
Yep, some pro late models, street stocks, mini stocks back on the 3/8 mile. So going to be an awesome show. Next time you can come out here in person will be the Figure 8 Nationals. So we're bringing all 3 classes back, 64 laps each in honor of Eric Allison. So that is a long action-packed show. And then before we know it, biggest event of the year, pro late models and super late models, going for a total purse of one driver could walk away with $80,000 at the end of it.
That's a lot of dinero. That's coming up in just 3 weeks here at Evergreen Speedway. And if that wasn't enough, you're an open-wheel guy, the Rory Price Memorial stacked up right behind that.
Oh, yeah. So tons of action. Check out evergreenspeedway.com for all the info on upcoming events, as it was just a busy 4th of July weekend and a hot one.
Well, there's nothing like watching it here on Home Track Heroes and CW11, but really, come out to the track and experience it for yourself. You won't be disappointed.
That is for sure. As like we said, Summer Showdown coming up, Roy Price Memorial, and then before we know it, Carnage again coming fair time in September. So stay tuned to all social media. Thank you for watching Home Track Heroes here on CW11. I'm Kyler Hope. That was Caleb Hart.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.